Summer can be lots of fun, but there's always chaos and stress when it comes to getting your kids to their activities. Auto Express can help. The kind, caring staff and drivers will treat your kids like their own. You won't have to worry about their safety or whether or not they get to their activities on time. Just because parents are working doesn't mean that the kids can't have fun. Call the Auto Express today and talk to them about summer transportation for your kids.
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
Layton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at layton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's layton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Wednesday morning. It is 10 after 9 on a, well, it's not raining, so we can say that, Mary.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
It's a non-rainy day.
Right. It's really humid.
Yeah.
I don't know what the humidity looks like, but man, it was really during our walk yesterday and today, went walking in the morning and it was like heavy air.
Earlier it was 100%. Now we're at 74.
Okay. Well, I think it was 100% at 5:45 this morning because it was kind of sweaty out there.
Yeah,
today.
The red lights. I hit every single. I've got 7 lights between where I live and here.
Do you think there's really you don't really think there's something there?
I don't know. It's like they saw a black vehicle and went, "Well, stop it."
Well,
they're all fresh reds too.
Do you know what? And do you remember we had a listener, either call or text, I don't remember which one, but he said that, like if you got to a red light and you like rolled ahead a little bit, that, you could, it would sense the weight of your vehicle, and it would change quicker. Because I think, there's definitely...
There's sensors
There's sensors, So I don't know if that works or not. But.
Yeah, the thing is, you get people who stop on the other side of the sensors, especially on power. You get people who are darn near in the intersection.
Yep.
Plus, I had one lovely experience on one of your favorite events on the ride in. We were up in Detroit Lakes filming our latest episode of Where to Eat. Oh, boy. And we're coming off 94, or getting onto 94.
So bad.
And we got an idiot who stopped just where you're supposed to merge.
Well,
and I'm like, okay, he's waiting for this gap. Okay, there was a gap. So I start gunning it, going, okay, I'm going to go right after this guy. And he stays there.
Oh, boy.
So I was slowing down, trying to get him to go, and he didn't go. So I had to accelerate. And Zach's like, we're going to get hit by a truck. And I'm like, not if I hit it for it.
I tell you what, you know what? I stopped going that way. I started going east on whatever road that is.
88.
88 and coming in that way.
I mean, you have to.
And it's
such
a little
mess.
bit out of my way. I'm backtracking a little bit, but... Whole lot safer. I tell you what.
Yeah, that's
just
such a dangerous intersection.
It's terrible. I just think I don't know how you do that differently, but it's almost like there should be a stop sign. I don't know. Merging is dangerous right there. That is for sure.
They should just detour everybody around.
Yeah, I don't know. But I started going the other way. It
was
a little. Well, today I hauled some chairs and I had some cardboard that I broke up, and I'm like, take to the recycling, and so I had all that stuff in the back of my car, and so my vision looking out my back window wasn't perfectly clear, and I thought, I'm not taking any chances today.
No.
I'm getting to be more of the older I get, the more chicken I become, I guess.
You just become smarter.
Maybe.
I mean, if we were to come in and do that again, I'd go the long way.
Yeah, I know. So I went the long way today. So I've tried to start leaving about 10 minutes earlier than normal, because now there's all this construction in Pelican again.
Oh, yeah. You got that
108
lovely
East.
light.
So, and oh my goodness, if you can avoid going to that light, I sat there for 15 minutes one day, and I ended up turning around and going a different direction, and I've not been back. So it just depends on the traffic flow. You can sit there a long time.
We didn't sit there too long. I mean, we went to Monoman. We hit green on the way there, red on the way back.
I've never seen it green, not one time.
Oh, it's been green.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, we sat for a few seconds before it went green on the way to Detroit Lakes, and then on the way back, we had a fresh one, and so we sat there for about 2-3 minutes.
Oh, boy. I sat for 15 one day, and that's all the patience this girl has. So I haven't been by there again. So I take the detour that you don't get to go on 108 East until you drive all the way through the neighborhood, which wasn't a bad detour.
Good.
But now they have closed off that detour, and they are further detouring us through all these neighborhoods. And I think they're going to keep creeping east doing work. So eventually I won't be able to go that way either.
Well, hopefully they'll finish what they're working on Main Street.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, a lot of construction out there. For
Yeah,
sure.
if you're going 59 on Pelican.
Oh
good
boy,
luck.
I know. Anyway, I heard something, and it was an ad that was during the ad break that made me just stop and think, oh my goodness, where have we come? So it's an ad that says, if you're high, don't drive. Now, I mean, that seems like it, but it didn't used to be legal to be high,
No,
and now
but
our ads have to say, hey, if you're going to smoke dope and you're high,
Yep.
don't drive.
Well, they used to do, if you're buzzed, don't drive. Now it's if you're high, you don't drive.
Oh boy. So we just added one whole other way for people to be not good behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And we made it legal. So good job,
Well,
Minnesota.
it's not legal to do it behind the wheel.
No,
if you're impaired,
but-
you can get a
But
driving under impaired.
one more option. I don't know. I just thought, boy, there's an ad I didn't think I'd ever hear. If you're high, don't drive.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they had those ads in the 60s, too.
They probably did.
Peace, man.
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know who thinks that's a great idea. And it's just like, taking drugs all your life. You wonder what that's going to do to rewire your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think of, wow, you're smoking dope every day? What's that going to do to your brain over the long haul? I don't know. I just think it's one more way. Are they, if you get pulled over and you're high, is there a test for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, okay, enough about that.
Yeah, they've got special law enforcement goes through special training to identify it, and then if they think that you are impaired, if you fail the test, if you're impaired, you're impaired. They'll take you in and they'll get a warrant for your blood, and they'll check your blood.
Okay.
All that stuff can be in your blood.
Okay. Well, here's good news. If you don't like artificial stuff in your food, that's probably been there for way too long for most of us. Kraft Heinz announced it will remove artificial food dyes from all of its products. They said it will take 2 years to do it. This follows a recent U.S. government plan to phase out 8 synthetic food dyes, and other companies like PepsiCo and In-N-Out are already taking steps to remove artificial colors. Kraft Heinz's North America president said the company is focused on evolving its recipes and portfolio. Do you think we're going to see a lot of things, the look of a lot of things change? I kind of do.
It has to.
It has to, yeah. Especially red dye.
Well, the funny thing is they're like, oh, we're going to have to adjust everything. Oh, wait, there's a whole bunch of countries where you sell stuff in that don't allow those dyes anyway, so just use their recipe.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, if you look, we used to have a salesperson who would go up to Canada all the time.
Right.
He'd bring back stuff, and you'd look at the Canadian version of something and the American version.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. New York City Comptroller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander was arrested by federal agents at an immigration court. He linked arms with a person they were attempting to detain. Lander, who was observing hearings, was accused of assaulting law enforcement and impeding a federal officer. Video shows agents struggled to separate Lander from the detainee before arresting him. So Boy.
Well, we came for this guy, but if you want to go too, let's go.
Wow. Anyway, so now we have the lawmakers getting in the way. Lawmakers, speaking of them, from both parties are seeking to limit President Trump's ability to order U.S. strikes on Iran, arguing that the Constitution empowers Congress to decide on matters of war, not the president alone.
That is incorrect. Well, only Congress can declare war, but the president is the chief, the head guy.
Yeah.
So, commander-in-chief. So
Right.
He's the one that decides.
This comes and amid concerns over escalating tensions between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. The resolution would force a vote on the matter within a number of days. What do you think is going to happen here? I mean, Trump is saying, listen, we have given you all these chances to de-escalate and to, I don't know. And Iran is not a very serious country when it comes, they could be taken care of pretty easily, I think. But I don't know. What do you think? It was one of his campaign promises to not get us into another war. But how do you make that decision?
I think if Iran attacks the U.S., like some of our bases in the area, yeah, I can see us attacking them very quickly. But until that happens, I don't think it'll happen.
Well, and even, Israel and what they're doing in terms of attacks in Iran, very super targeted. And they're pretty much kind of demolishing them as we go. So I don't know if there's going to be a need for that. But I guess on one hand, I'm glad they're watching the situation. I sure hope we don't have to, get involved militarily.
Yeah.
Anyway, and a prolonged heat wave will sweep across the United States, bringing the highest temperatures of the year so far and posing risks of heat-related illnesses. The heat will strain energy demands, and there might be some cooling centers that may need to be opened. People are advised to minimize physical exertion during the hottest parts of the day. It's moving from west to east. We're going to see a little heat over the weekend.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're part of this necessarily, but it is going to be hot. And I saw a very interesting statistic today comparing May of 2025 to May of 2024. So, and how many illegal people came across the border. So May of 2024, under the previous administration, 62,000 people came across.
That's just what they can estimate.
That's what they can estimate. That does not count the gotaways. 62,000 in May of 2024 under our previous administration. This year in May of 2025, want to guess the number?
6,000?
0. The number is 0.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that some people crossed.
Well, of course again, the confirmed going across, well, even if it's 6,000, beats the heck out of 62,000.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so there has been a significant difference.
Yep.
And I think that's great. There's not another country in the world that allows people to just traipse across the border.
Nope.
And then just get lost in the United States. And they give them a piece of paper that says, okay, here's when your hearing is, please show up. Well, of course, none of them do.
No.
But anyway, I like that number a whole lot better.
Yeah.
It's a absolute dramatic decrease. So we have to feel good about that. It's just, and not that we're not a country who welcomes people from other countries if you do it right. But if you're going to come illegally, we don't want you. And there's not another country in the world that would allow it. Why do we? I don't understand that. But anyway, I think that's moving in the right direction. But I do have, I think everyone has concerns about sort of being on the, edge here, whether or not to get involved militarily. And I agree with you. I think if there's any attack on anything in the United States or any of their bases or anything like that, it would be a pretty swift response, is my guess.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they probably already wrote up some plans. So if this happens and this happens, if this happens, then we do this. And so.
All right. Well, we've talked many times about people who make crazy 911 calls and how unfortunate that is, because it just takes up time that somebody really, you know, probably needed that. And we'll, on the second half of the show, we'll talk about a guy, guess from where? Only in
Florida.
Yep. Making over 16,000 911 calls. So we'll tell you about that. Also, there is a 42-year-old message in a bottle.
Oh, nice.
That washed up on a remote island. Kind of a cool story. So we'll tell you about all those things when we come back on Morning Talk. So, Anna, what is this, Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
Okay,
It's a hot, humid Wednesday.
I had to be reminded, what day actually is it? Okay, it's Wednesday. We'll be back.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
This is Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. When you're thinking about a memorial for your loved one, I invite you to stop in and see our large selection of memorials on display. The memorial you choose is crafted for you right here locally with an everlasting warranty. That means it's perfect, now and forever, guaranteed. Call or stop into Fergus Falls Monument or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com. Memorials that matter.
I once booked a venue that was a logistical nightmare. Too far from the hotels and too hard to find. It made our entire event feel rushed and stressful. That's when I decided to try the Bigwood Event Center. Being right off the interstate and a hotel on site, it made travel easy for everyone. They took care of all the setup and cleanup, letting me focus on my presentation instead of the details. It made our event run so much smoother, and I'll never go back to the old way. Meetings with Impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
Aquarius Home Services brings you the Fix It Fun giveaway. Text the keyword home to 218-321-1926 and register to win $2,500 towards any new system purchase or upgrade. This is your chance to replace or upgrade your home heating, cooling, or water treatment system, or tackle large plumbing or electrical project. Get registered now by texting home to 218-321-1926 for the Fix It Fun giveaway. Thanks to Aquarius Home Services, your local heating, cooling, water treatment, plumbing, and electrical experts.
Summer can be lots of fun, but there's always chaos and stress when it comes to getting your kids to their activities. Auto Express can help. The kind, caring staff and drivers will treat your kids like their own. You won't have to worry about their safety or whether or not they get to their activities on time. Just because parents are working doesn't mean that the kids can't have fun. Call the Auto Express today and talk to them about summer transportation for your kids.
Wherever you're going, we're going to the Auto Express.
21 years ago, I started selling fireworks, and I'm excited to invite you to our air-conditioned location in downtown WAP. Hello, this is Melissa, the fireworks lady at Patriot Place Fireworks. If you live in the Lakes area, you can now get 20% back in free fireworks. Spend $200, get 40. Spend $500 and get $100 back in free fireworks. It's that simple. I will make it worth your drive. We have the biggest selection, best prices, and now get 20% back in free fireworks. But the best part is we accept all major credit cards with no bogus 4% fee applied. Patriot Place Fireworks next to Burger King, downtown Wapton.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The Wissota 100, coming in September to I-94 EMR Speedway in Fergus Falls, promises to be a high-energy week filled with competitive racing, community engagement, and regional exposure. Wissota is looking for groups or organizations that would be willing to assist with parking cars. It's a great opportunity to be involved with a major regional event, support local racing, and be part of an energetic and fun environment. If your group or organization is interested, see wissota.org or call 321-251-1360.
Protect your livelihood with a livestock risk protection policy through Ag Country Farm Credit Services. With an LRP policy, you're covered if the market price unexpectedly drops for fed cattle, feeder cattle, or swine. Coverage options range from 70 to 100%. Get an LRP policy from a team that knows agriculture. Contact your local Ag Country office to learn more. Ag Country, focused on ag, focused on you. Ag Country is an equal opportunity lender and provider.
Markets this hour brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a customer-owned cooperative.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets now moving a little mostly higher here. We are having trouble getting the July and September Minneapolis wheat contracts. That hasn't changed since last night, 7 o'clock or almost 8 o'clock last night in the overnight sessions. Have not seen anything change there. The rest of the Minneapolis contracts are higher. We're seeing December and March trading up 11 cents here at the moment. July Chicago wheat's up 17 here in Kansas City, trading 14 cents higher. Agmarket.net analyst Tyler Schau says the grain markets remain fairly choppy here. The wheat market primarily with traders adding some weather premium back in.
Yeah, the wheat market is seeing some pretty good price action in it. A lot of that stemming from very wet conditions in both your soft and hard red winter wheat growing regions. Just seeing some massive storms continue to roll through those areas, creating some quality issues. Also lagging on harvest pace. I think it's one of the slowest paces we've seen for hard red winter wheat harvest in quite some time, and it just putting a little spark in this market that desperately needed it.
Cattle market, a little jittery after yesterday's sell-off.
You know, yesterday was a brutal day for both the feeder and the live cattle space. There was some talk that, you know, the administration and ICE have been raiding a lot of immigrant working locations. There was some talk early in the week that Trump was kind of changing his stand or soft.
You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
This is Corn Matters, an update from the Minnesota Corn Growers Association. Board member Richard Severson says the EPA's RVO proposal will create a solid base of demand for biofuels like ethanol.
One thing that wasn't included in that announcement was the ruling on the 169 small refinery waivers that are still pending in front of the agency. If they grant a significant number of those, the RVOs won't mean as much because those RIN values will be taken up with those refinery waivers. We'd just like to thank our Minnesota congressional delegation, both House and Senate, for really going to bat for Minnesota's corn and soybean farmers and for the ag industry in lobbying the administration, working with their fellows in Congress to get these announcements made, get this market on firm footing going forward.
The mission of the Minnesota Corn Growers Association is to identify and promote opportunities for corn growers. That's because corn matters.
Listen for Crop Watch every Tuesday during Agriculture Today on many of these Red River Farm Network stations. Each week, we'll travel a different part of our listening area and report what farmers, crop consultants, extension specialists, and crop experts have to say. Join us each Tuesday, 12:37 for Crop Watch. Great way to hear about crop and weather conditions all across the Northern Plains. Crop Watch, sponsored by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Hefty Seed, Irie Insurance Agency, and Proseed.
The Red River Farm Network is reporting agriculture's business with the markets, farm news, and weather information you need each and every day.
Again, hats off to you, Don, and the Red River, what you guys do connecting your listeners to what's happening and people and telling stories. You guys are doing an awesome job at it, so thank you.
That's Greg Peterson, better known as Machine Repeat. The Red River Farm Network can be heard from Worthington to War Road, from Bismarck to Bemidji, 23 radio stations, and online at rrfn.com.
July wheat Minneapolis. So now starting to get those numbers trade here. We're up 12.5 cents at 6.43 and a quarter. Chicago July wheat 18 cents higher. Kansas City July wheat 14.5 higher. July corn 2.5 higher, 4.34. December corn 5.5 higher, 4.44 and a quarter. July soybeans 3/4 of a penny higher, 10.74 and 3/4. November soybeans are up 2 1/4, 10.70. July canola down $1 a metric ton. June live cattle up 25 cents, 223.50. August is up 45. The August feeder cattle down 20 cents at 303.15. September's down 10 cents. July lean hogs 42 cents higher, 112.07. August down 5 cents. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Easy Open's been your garage door crew for years, and now they've got a door of their very own right here in Fergus Falls. Don't miss the grand opening on Thursday the 26th from 3 to 7 for food, fun, and giveaways. Make it easy. Call 770-DOOR.
Don't you love where you live? Then let's take care of it together. Upstream is a Minnesota campaign to steward what we all value: clean lakes, healthy communities, and a future we can be proud of. Go to mnupstream.org/west-central to take the stewardship pledge and find simple ways to make a difference for our natural places. Because when we care for nature and each other, Minnesota stays special for future generations to come. Go upstream, because Minnesotans love where we live. Live music this Friday at the VFW in Fergus Falls. Enjoy entertainment from Julie Lee and the White Rose Band, performing this Friday night after bingo. So grab your hat, throw on your boots, and head down to the VFW Post 612 on Washington Avenue in Fergus Falls.
Roll into summer with Northwest Tire. Receive a $50 instant rebate when you purchase any set of 4-passenger or light truck tires in stock with installation and purchase of premium tire coverage. Plus, get a $100 instant rebate when you use your Northwest Tire credit card. See store or website for more details. Sale valid at your Northwest Tire June 1st through the 30th.
Northwest Tire keeps you rolling down the road.
Weather can shift quickly and sometimes become dangerous. Listen for the latest weather forecast and the latest reports from the Weather Spotter Network, brought to you by Otter Tail Power Company and Lakes Country Roofing. In the event of severe weather, tune in for up-to-the-minute weather conditions from local weather spotters throughout the area. For power outage information, visit otpco.com. Storm damage to your roof or siding? Visit lakescountryroofing.com. The Weather Spotter Network, brought to you by Otter Tail Power Company and Lakes Country Roofing.
Layton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at Layton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's Layton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
News Talk 1250. There we go. News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone at 9:37. Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our friends over at Fergus Monument Company and Pioneer Care.
Well, I was just doing some reading, and you know where else people are behaving badly, routinely? The WNBA.
Oh, yeah.
And almost 100% of those games and altercations are games that Caitlin Clark is playing in. They just can't stand her because she's so good.
Yeah.
They just don't love her. Anyway, things got heated between the Indiana Fever, who Caitlin Clark plays for, and the Connecticut Sun, with multiple altercations and ejections in the second half. Now, this is the WNBA. I mean, can we just play basketball? But I tell you what, Caitlin Clark comes onto the court and they just go after her. And, you know, I don't blame her. She's only going to take it for so long. Well, here's what happened. This is in the second half alone. Caitlin Clark was issued a flagrant foul, one of those. Sophie Cunningham was ejected. J.C. Sheldon is the one who was causing trouble from the very start. She was ejected, and Lindsay Allen was ejected, and Tina Charles a technical foul. So all of those last four were played for the Sun. So they lost a few people. But anyway, not very often in women's professional basketball do you see 4 ejections. You know, and it's just another one of those things. Why can't we
just play?
Go back to just being human beings again instead of, everything is just awful.
It's kind of funny because her, self-labeled rival, Angel Reese, has she's known for missing so many shots and getting her own rebounds. She actually trademarked the word me-bounds.
Oh, boy. Okay.
She actually had to trademark the word me-bounds.
Okay. Well,
It's
anyway,
ridiculous.
I feel kind of bad for, here's someone, Caitlin Clark, who worked her tail off, got into, played for Iowa and worked well there and played so well there, and then goes off to the WNBA and just gets treated like garbage.
Yeah.
And that would get pretty old.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous. They're just trying to end her career.
They poked her in the eye.
Oh, my goodness. It was awful. Anyway, okay, so to the Florida man who was arrested for making those 16,000 911 calls. Who can keep track? My goodness. 72-year-old guy, he's been arrested making 16,000 calls to 911 over the past 5 years. That's a lot of calls. 3,400 calls made just in the 5 months of this year so far. The man, identified as Samuel Lee Thomas, was arrested for allegedly stalking a neighbor after making numerous complaints to the police about the neighbor's home. Police responded to a 911 call reporting gunplay, only to find out a family barbecue with no evidence of any shooting. So there was really nothing going on. So he was charged with stalking, false report of a crime, and resisting arrest. Despite his extensive criminal record, Thomas claimed his calls to police were about neighborhood nuisances.
He's number one.
Yeah, 3,400 calls already this year.
Oh.
That's a lot of calls. Talk about crying wolf. What if one time he really actually needs 911 response?
Yeah.
They're just going to say, oh, it's him again. Forget it,
Well, it's probably funny. He's probably trying to call 911 when he was getting arrested.
Yeah, probably.
I'd like to report an officer arresting me.
Okay, here is an 84-year-old woman from British Columbia left $1 million to someone. Guess who it is?
Her dog.
A male escort. That's worse than the dog. Prompting her family, of course, to challenge the document. The deceased woman, who passed away in 2023, had been in a relationship with the male escort for over 2 years. The family claims the man took advantage of her vulnerability and manipulated her into changing her will. Sounds about right. They argue that the woman lacked the mental capacity to make such decisions. The case is now before the court, with the family seeking to have the will declared invalid and the inheritance redistributed according to previous arrangements. If I was family members, I'd be fighting that too, and I would have been, I think I would have been watching Grandma.
2 years of a gigolo.
Yeah, boy. I heard a story kind of like that not so long ago, where a woman, an elderly woman who owned the home and had somebody renting upstairs. And somehow this person manipulated her into thinking that she actually owed the rent. And she ended up paying this person who lived upstairs over and over and over again before a family member, discovered it. But, when you're vulnerable, and then there's some knucklehead to take advantage of you. Wow. Let's see what else we've got for you. You're too young. But do you ever remember hearing about a program on TV called Land of the Lost?
Yeah, isn't that where dinosaurs were in the middle of the planet or something?
Yeah.
And it was really bad stop motion animation.
Yes, that's the one. Sid and Marty Krofft.
I didn't really ever see it, but I mean,
I remember it. Land of the Lost. Anyway, it premiered in 1974, ran for 3 seasons on NBC, followed the adventures of the Marshall family. So those of you who are as old as me, I was 14 when this was on.
I was just
I know.
I was just being born as it was
Just be
stopped.
quiet. And as they navigated an alternate dimension filled with dinosaurs and strange creatures. What was the one with the Robinson family? Again, too
That's
young.
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
I mean,
okay.
they've redone
Will
Lost.
Robinson.
Yeah, they've redone that one.
Okay.
There's some movies.
Well, anyway, they're coming up. Netflix is developing a reboot of Land of the Lost.
I might have to miss that.
Yeah, not interested either. If you are a Food Network fan, you are mourning the passing of Chef Anne Burrell, passed away at the age of 55.
Yeah, they're not really releasing how she died.
No.
That's a little suspicious.
The TV personality was found unconscious at her Brooklyn, New York home on Tuesday morning and was pronounced dead upon arrival of EMS. The cause of the death remains undisclosed, as you mentioned, and an investigation is ongoing. Burrell's family described her as a beloved wife, sister, daughter, stepmother, and friend whose smile lit up every room she entered. The culinary icon's death has been mourned by the Food Network, who praised her as a remarkable person and a real culinary talent. Prior to her passing, Burrell had appeared healthy and happy in a recent social media post, so they just don't really know. Or if they do know, they're just not
releasing
saying,
it yet.
Right. Let's see. How about Americans who are predicting what it will be like in 2065? I feel like that's not so far down the road.
No, 40 years. I will be 48 or
Okay,
88.
so what do you think? Do you have any, like, we should put it in a time capsule?
I'm going out on a limb.
Okay.
I've predicted this my entire life, but we will have flying cars.
I knew that you were going to say that. Flying cars. I think you could absolutely be right.
There won't be any flying cars.
You don't think?
No.
Maybe not. Let's see. The findings suggest significant shifts, including a decline in home ownership, is what they're saying. 25% anticipating a lifetime of renting, and the average cost of a home projected at $682,000. That's the average. They also foresee a shorter work week, around 30 hours, and an estimated $3.5 million needed for retirement.
Wow.
What do they tell us we need today? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
No.
So I can tell you in, 2065, I will probably be sitting behind this mic because
Yeah.
I'm not going to have $3.5 million.
No. 25% believe, of course, all of those things that we've just mentioned, those prices, just not going to be financially feasible.
No.
Younger generations like Gen Z envision retirement differently, prioritizing time with family, travel, and alternate living arrangements over traditional luxury retirement communities. So there, and right now I think that group of, people they're kind of all about family. At least that's what we see and hear. It seems like a lot. So, Gen Z, good job. And the survey also points to an increased reliance on digital currency, smart home AI, and even robotic caregivers as part of the envisioned future landscape.
I was going to get Derek's opinion on it. I thought he popped in.
And to that, I say, I'm so glad I'm old. I don't want any of that junk. And I certainly don't want a $682,000 home. Did you have to throw something at them?
I had to throw something. I pointed at my headphones earlier when he popped in, and I was hoping he was going to hop on. And Derek, we're talking about in the year 2065. What is your prediction?
Just any prediction for 2065?
Yeah, we're talking about,
Because,
like
it's
they've predicted things like
nobody's going to own homes.
Yeah, nobody's going to own a home. They're just going to rent, and if you were to buy it, they're going to be $682,000, that kind of stuff.
But what's your prediction? I said that there's going to be flying cars, but what's yours?
I don't know. I feel like flying cars is a little overdone there, Dave. You know, they've been saying that for
I know.
decades and decades.
I made that joke as well. But what's your prediction, though, for 2065?
I have a prediction that by sometime before 2065, something's gonna happen where we're gonna have to go back to a more isolated, like notebook, pen and paper sort of situation where I think something's gonna happen where at least temporarily we're all gonna have to go back into the dark ages and try to remember how to live life like that.
Really? So you think we're going to go backwards?
Because he'll be about your age, Mary.
Yeah.
Because there's 20 years between you and me, and there's 20 years between me and Derek.
Right.
So
you think we'll go backwards? I think we're going to go forward at a pace that is going to be awful for people. And in fact, the guy who kind of is I think considered the founder of AI, I saw him this morning saying, this has gotten out of control and people are losing jobs because of it.
like Derek said, things could go off the rails and we need pen and paper. Because you know who can't write on pen and paper right now? AI.
Well, I also saw something. There was an Australian news piece that they did where they started off with a video of a reporter saying that Canada had declared war on the U.S. And then it cut to an actual reporter, and they're like, that was actually AI. And it's scary how convincing it is already, and it just continues to develop.
Yeah. Well, the thing that scares me about AI is it's just one more piece in that puzzle where we just can't trust anything we see or read or hear, or, I mean, everything looks like the truth, and shocking fake news stories, and you just don't know what to believe anymore. And because of that, we've all just gotten to be like, I just don't believe anything I read anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Skynet.
Yeah. Oh boy. And yeah, sometimes I wish we could back up just a little bit, but I wouldn't mind backing up and before AI and just keep that out of the mix. But here we are. Pandora's box has been opened wide. So, all right. Well, Derek, young one, thanks for joining us.
Good luck in 40 years.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so middle of the road one. Do you feel like some trivia?
Oh, yeah. Here,
I'm the old one. Yeah, Derek is the young one. You're right smack dab in the middle. So
I decided to be interested in getting his take on it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's going to be your age, in 40 years. So
yeah. Okay. What was the archaic name for the giraffe?
The archaic name for the giraffe, I'm going to go with long-necked cow.
I thought, if you get this, I'm coming right in there, going to punch you. Camel leopard.
Oh, okay. I think I almost heard that once.
How many reindeer does Santa have? Do you have to sing the song or do the...
He's got 8, but 9 if you count Rudolph.
Yes. How do you know that? I mean, do you just always know that?
Well, up on his roof with 8 tiny reindeer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I said. Do you have to go back and, sing the song?
I didn't sing it. It's just...
Up on the housetop? Reindeer paws?
Well, no, I think that was the night before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because it's like, it was the night before Christmas and all through the house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 8 tiny reindeer.
8 tiny reindeer.
Okay.
In that.
And then if you include Rudolph. No.
I'd have to sing it to name them. I mean, I don't think I could name them, but...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Do we have to name them to come up with how many? But I hadn't thought about the story.
Yeah, the story. It's got, 8 tiny reindeer. And then, obviously, Rudolph was created by, I think, Macy's. And so he's technically not one of the originals, but...
he would have to be included.
He'd have to be
included. Don't you think? Let me see what. Let's see. There's another thing in the news. I don't know if you followed the whole Matthew Perry thing, the guy that was on
a little bit,
Friends.
yeah. Well, I was a big. Friends was a big part of my generation.
Right.
I mean, that was when we were all in high school and kind of college. So everybody watched Friends back then.
He died. I think it's a couple years ago now.
Yeah, it'd be about
a drug overdose.
2 years ago, a ketamine overdose.
2023 it says. Anyway, there's an urgent care guy, a doc that owns actually the urgent care in Malibu, California, that he had been supplying Matthew Perry with ketamine. And now he has finally said, that's it, I am going to plead guilty.
Well, I mean, the guy's reputation's been destroyed, and if you,
right,
I mean,
what are you going to do? Recommended sentence of 15 to 21 months. That doesn't seem very long, but anyway, it makes him the fourth person to plead guilty in connection to Perry's accidental death in 2023. Yuck.
I can't remember if he overdosed or if he drowned in the hot tub, because they found him dead in the hot tub. I can't remember the order of events, but
yeah, I think he slipped into the hot tub because he was it was a drug overdose. Yeah. Let's see what's new in food. Little Caesars introduced the limited time Fantastic 4-in-1 pizza featuring 4 different toppings. Ooh, nice. Combinations on one pizza. That sounds good. It's in concert with the release of upcoming The Fantastic Four, Four Steps movie. Yeah. And Capri Sun, if you care about that, introduces a limited edition 20-ounce solstice pouch to celebrate the summer solstice.
Wow, they're going to get it so it's not just a sip anymore.
I guess.
Those Capri Sun things are just, when I was a little kid, I'd be like, oh, it's great. Now it's like one sip and it's gone.
One sip and it's gone, I know.
Where is it? Then you'd have to blow it up, put your straw back in there, and then jump on it and shoot the straw across the room.
Oh, that's what you did.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, I missed out on the whole Capri Sun deal.
Yeah, that was...
No one told me.
They were huge in the 80s and early 90s.
We used to, I used to buy them and have them around when our grandkids were little. But most of them are red juice, and I got tired of that red juice all over the place. So
yeah,
I guess you can get apple ones or a different color.
Let's face it, it's not exactly a natural drink.
No, not exactly, for sure. Anyway, so yeah, if you like to eat and drink healthy, that is not on your list. All right, well, that is gonna wrap up a Wednesday, middle of the work week, everybody.
Yeah.
Good news. For a second I got here and I had to really ask myself, is it Tuesday or Wednesday? So I'm relieved to hear that it is Wednesday. So anyway, thanks for joining us on Morning Talk. And our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great day.